Hi, Nick Rose here from the Booze Baron, answering probably the biggest question I get asked. I get asked this all the time. Is Australian whiskey actually any good? Now, I sell Australian whiskey. I'm mates with a lot of the Australian whiskey distillers, and quite frankly, my dream is to one day have enough time, money, energy, all the rest of it, to open up my own distillery in Australia. I love the idea of it, so fair call, I'm pretty biased on this. But here are some facts that have nothing to do with me and my opinion. Right now, in Australia, we have, let's see, 3 distilleries, creeping up bit by bit, 3 distilleries scoring more than 95 out of 100 in Jim Murray's Whisky Bible. Some of those are under $100 a bottle. You cannot buy a single malt scotch for less than $100 that beats 93, let alone 95. That is a bloody good score. And it's an incredible thing to happen from an island that just a few years ago was producing, in that exact same publication, Jim Murray's Whisky Bible, whiskies that were considered atrocious, I believe was used. Horrendous, some of the worst examples of a spirit that one could hope to drink, that sort of stuff. In a few years, we've matured and turned around our industry, and we're now producing some of the most incredible whiskies in the world. Seriously, I've got some hanging out on the shelf here behind me. There we are. Sullivan's Cove, double cask. What am I selling that at? Like 95 a bottle? That's 95.5 right there. I didn't score it, I didn't rate it. I still think this is one of the most drinkable whiskies in the world, one of the most quaffable, one of the most enjoyable, and quite frankly, one of my favourite whiskies that I have ever drunk anywhere. Which is a big thing to say when I really like peated whiskies, and that's entirely unpeated. Also got, let's see, hang out, behind the Australian Jim, next to the Australian White Rye Spirit, huh? They're the Nant Distillery. Their cask strength, 95.5, it's considered one of the finest examples of whiskies outside of Scotland anywhere. And they're grinding their grist by watermill. It's really old school, it's very cool. And quite frankly, any other boutique distillery in the world should be so jealous of not just their setup, but what they've been able to achieve and produce. It's incredible. So, yeah, Australian whiskies are pretty bloody good. We're pulling off some incredibly unique and different aromas and flavours. An example of that would be Starward. Starward has the craziest perfumed aroma of any whiskey I've tasted ever. It's almost like a Japanese single malt. It's just so incredibly complex and different. But brands and ideas aside, yes, the answer is yes. Australian whiskey is good. It's not just good, it's pretty bloody good. And even with our ridiculous excise taxes that the federal government is, quite frankly, raking the small distillery industry with, we're still producing amazingly good quality for the money. So if you want to wow someone with a gift or experience something yourself that you really consider an indulgence, try an Australian whiskey. I've got some of them listed below, and they are seriously fantastic. Anyway, thanks for letting me have my rant. I'll talk to you soon.